Welcome back, boys and girls, to another exciting NGDL matchup. And this week I am facing the Magnum Opus, led by mr.magz, where I think I had at least one battle here in my YouTube. And this is actually a division rival. Now, we're 2-1 going into this match, but we have yet to actually win a division. Actually, we haven't even won a game in our conference yet, slaying two out-of-conference foes. So it'd be really nice to get a division win here to catch up to the Vancouver Canucks, who of course we lost to in week 2. So without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at our teams. My team is probably as you remember it. I have not made any transactions yet in the NGDL2. Kind of waiting. I only have $1 in cap room, so kind of waiting for the right time, being that there's a $1 fee. So yeah, I didn't decide to make any transactions this week, although I was actually kind of thinking of it maybe picking up a fairy type, because looking at his team, okay, there's a few things. First of all, it's horrifying in several ways, and I still think I can abuse it in several ways. Now, it's horrifying because Tapu Lele, obviously, has the potential to just be really annoying. He has Incineroar, which, with Intimidate now, can actually be pretty lethal. He has Pelipper, and most importantly, the biggest thing I was actually afraid of is kommo-o, and that's the reason I kind of wanted to pick up a decently bulky fairy. I mean, I guess I could use Alolan Ninetales, but whatever. But that's the biggest reason, because I'm really actually afraid of the Commodium Z. Obviously, Rainbow is always super powerful in the league. Now, the things I know I can abuse in this team, though, he doesn't really have very good a Stealth Rock user. In fact, I don't think he even has one, unless Palossand can get it randomly. But more importantly, his team is really lacking speed, so I know that I can outspeed pretty much his entire team pretty easily, except for maybe a possible Choice Scarf. But that gives me some additional advantage, so like I said, I'm nervous going into here, but, kind of optimistic as well. So there's the teams. I brought a Choice Specs Articuno, and I don't see Lapras, which is super good for me, because Lapras is, like, the one thing that can actually take that really well. And, you know what? Let's go ahead and lead with my Specs Articuno right off the bat. I'm actually bringing two newcomers that I haven't brought into my first 3 matches. This Articuno, as well as Spiritomb, so hopefully we can... And the reason I brought Spiritomb is in case you decided to bring a Scarf Tapu Lele. It'll keep him from locking himself into a Psychic move. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and lead with my Specs Articuno. I'm going to go for an Ice Beam, knowing that the switch into Incineroar is possible. And so I just go for Ice Beam because it's a little stronger than Freeze Dry. And as you can see, it doesn't even look like it's a direct KO because this guy's probably Assault Vested. I'm going to keep going for it, though. He goes for a Thunder Punch, and the reason I didn't is because I kind of expected him to actually go for a Dark move. I didn't think he would go for the Flare Blitz because I obviously do have my Araquanid as well as this Blaziken. But this turn, I'm like, okay, he's going to definitely Flare Blitz to kill my Articuno because that Thunder Punch didn't do half. And I was right, because he goes into Incineroar, and now I'm able to just Mega Evolve. And I actually make a pretty risky play here, going for a high jump kick. I was kind of thinking that he might try to stay in and maybe EQ me or something. So I'm like, you know what, let's just get rid of this thing. And it was kind of a risk to go for that high jump kick, because if he went to Palossand, I would have ended up recoiling for it a bit. But Mega Blaziken able to get the KO here on Incineroar. That's pretty nice. And in comes his Palossand, and I really don't have anything to do to this thing, actually, because my third move on this Mega Blaziken is Stone Edge for Pelipper. So I'm like, you know what, let's go back in Articuno. I don't think he really can do much to me either. And he's just going to go for a Psychic, so he's kind of predicting I stay in. And that's not going to do that much to my Articuno. And here I make the terrific play, just going for the Freeze Dry. I know that he has nothing on his team left, that he lost Incineroar to take a Freeze Dry. So I'm just going to go for it, and the fact he went into Pelipper means it's X4 effective, thanks to, of course, Freeze Dry flipping that Water typing to a weakness to Ice. And, yeah, it's going to be able to take out the Pelipper, which is huge, and I'm up to a 6-4 advantage right here and early. And in comes Tapu Lele, and this thing can outspeed me, even if it doesn't have a Choice Scarf. So I'm just going to go into my Uxie, and I do that because I was thinking about going out into my Araquanid, which is, actually can take a Moonblast pretty good as well. But I go into my Uxie because I wanted to maybe get off the Yawn. And if he potentially went for a Psyshock, obviously, I'm a Psychic type, so I have that resistance, and Araquanid would not take that nearly as good. So, yeah. I go for that Yawn, and now I'm going to give him the choice. Do you want to switch out, or let me, you're going to try to kill me? Or you're going to let me have Stealth Rocks? Because, yeah, he does not obviously want to fall to sleep. He's going to go out into his Serena, which is kind of fine. I just go for a U-turn, not knowing what this thing would do. This thing can actually get Rapid Spin, so it's possible he might just want to get rid of them. I was thinking about going out into my Spirit Tome, but I'm like, nah, let's just go into my Thundurus, and I have no idea why I even did this, because Thundurus, while it does have the grass resistance, I don't really have much to do to this. I mean, I do have Psychic, but that's probably my best move. I have Psychic and Flash Cannon as my two, off moves, and I also have Volt Switch and Thunderbolt. I just go for the Volt Switch, I think, which is actually kind of bad, because he still has Palisand, but he doesn't switch it back in, so that's good. He's going to go into his kommo-o, and I guess he was doing that maybe to try to set up. Although, no, he said this is actually mostly physical, because I'm going to go to my Spirit Tome now because I have the fighting resistance. And like I said, I'm still kind of worried that he's going to pop off a Commodium Z hit here. But I'm like, you know what, if he does switch out, he's probably going to go into Tapu Lele. And here I'm just going to go ahead and claim the game with one of the coolest Z moves of all time. I'm just going to go ahead and pop my Ghostium Z. So, yeah, Never-Ending Nightmare. Sorry to do this to you, mr.magz, but this match is probably going to give you nightmares. So in comes the Never-Ending Nightmare, and that is going to obliterate this Tapu Lele, his strongest and highest bid for Pokemon, just gone, and that's amazing. So in comes Serena again, but his remaining three Pokemon are Serena, kommo-o, and his Palisand, and I still have Choice Specs Articuno. So even though I missed this Will-O-Wisp, whatever, man. Whatever. He's going to do a ton of damage there with Grass Whip, or Power Whip. It's going to let him kill my Spirit Tome. Yeah, okay, whatever. Going to avoid the 6-0. But Articuno's going to be able to come in, and I actually misclick here. I locked myself into Freeze Dry. Not that it matters, because that's going to be able to one-hit KO everything on his team as well. So, yeah, good game there, mr.magz. It does feel really good. I mean, obviously, I kind of feel bad for a dominating victory. I shouldn't, though. You know, this is a league, and I got 6-0'd against freaking Cfran in my one loss, so this is going to actually help get my net score back up there. And obviously, it's always good to get a division win, and gives me a little bit more confidence going forward. So, good game there, mr.magz. And I really hope that you're able to turn it around, but not too much. Obviously, you're a division rival, so yeah, today's question of the day is going to be, what is your least favorite Trio Legendary Pokemon? So, obviously the Trio Legendary, I mean, there's pretty much a Trio Legendary in pretty much every gen. But in my experience, there's like usually one of the, the Trio Legendaries that are just kind of dumb looking compared to the other ones. And I'm not going to go through, I'm not asking you guys to go through each one to tell me which one looks the stupidest. Just tell me which one is your least favorite out of all Trio Legendaries. One that you just can't really stand looking at, like, really? As for me, it's probably Palkia, and yes, it's pronounced Palkia. I don't even care that the anime pronounces it Palkia. That's probably even worse. That makes it even worse. But its head obviously looks like a, well, I'm not even going to say it, but you guys know if you've seen Palkia. Also, it is a stupid name because it's actually pronounced Palkia, and I refuse to pronounce it that because Palkia sounds more godlike and it's just better. So I'm gonna go ahead and say Palkia. As far as in the creation trio, Dialga, Palkia, and Giratina. Or sorry, Dialga. Yeah. So leave a comment about that and see you guys again next time. Later.